Good morning and welcome back. Today I am, or at least at the moment, I am in Bristol, New Hampshire. I actually stopped in here because there's a river I want to check out, the Smith River, see if there's any gold in it. And on that river, there's a feature most people know as Profile Falls. It's a big swimming hole. But right next to it is a place called Inspirational Point. And I'll show you why I'm up early in the morning on this hilltop. This is actually owned by a church, so if you're a little religious, you might like this. I mean, why would you want to be in a stuffy church, listen to a sermon, or be out on a hilltop, happening out here? I mean, incredible, isn't it? One thing New Hampshire isn't short of is amazing views and mountains. I've been here before, so I figured I'm in the area. I'll get up a little earlier and show you guys. It's almost a 360-degree view on top here. It's actually not too bad of a hike up here. It's a gated dirt road. It's only about a quarter mile, but it does have some steepness, so if you're not in the best of shape, it'll take a little time, but it's worth it. As always, the camera just can't capture this enough. I'm looking at the lens and then looking around the camera, and it's just two different things, but it's the best I can do for now, just to give you a taste. Pretty incredible, huh? I don't know what it is about seeing a sunrise in the morning, but it just mentally, it just makes such a great day, and it's just beginning. If you're curious about why this point is here, I got a little memorial right here. You should be able to, hopefully that shows up. Just pause the video and read that. Dean Stevens. It was dedicated to him. But also, while I'm here, I guess it wouldn't hurt to pray to the gods for a little gold, because I am going to be digging in some areas that probably won't have any, and it's going to be very tough to find. So any advantage I can get will be a great bonus. I'll go down here and show you a little more of the view. I've probably seen more sunrises than the average person, but yet every time it just does not get old. And I am actually looking down at the town of Bristol. Nice little town. Gets a little crazy in the summer, which I'm always impressed by. I've been stuck down there so many times in traffic, thinking the world is so claustrophobic and getting overcrowded. But once you get above it all and get a nice bird's eye view, you realize that little moment does not represent what the world is about. There is still so much space, so much freedom. But I figured I'd just show you. I had a few moments to stop in. I'm actually going to be doing some testing of rivers further north, which I usually drive to, which is usually a couple hours from me. And hopefully some southern rivers, they're only about an hour away. So the people like me that live in the southern part of the state don't always have to drive so far just to get a little gold. It definitely has less gold, but there's got to be some spots that are going to be pretty decent. I'll just give you another look around, and then I got to get back down there and get on the river. Pretty cool they made something like this. Yeah, if you're in the area, Inspirational Point. It's on the Google Maps. It's pretty easy to find, not far from downtown. But let me get going, because I want to get a jump on the river. And just like that, I'm on the Smiths River, or at the spot of Profile Falls. The water's really low. This is usually a lot, like at least twice this water amount, but still pretty impressive. This is a great swimming hole for the locals. I've always wanted to pan this and see where the gold's coming from, or if there is any gold. But not to be pessimistic, but I don't think there's a lot of gold. That inspiration point is actually up that way, so I'm gonna head on top of the falls. And the reason I don't think there's a lot of gold, this will be a little tip of experience of what I've learned over the years. I would say about, I don't know, 60% of our gold in New Hampshire came from glaciers pushed down from Canada. So if you think about it, the glaciers are coming from the north straight down. So when they hit a hill, mountain, or whatever, even though they're a mile high, they gotta work their way, either they back up or have to work their way around. So in my experience, I have not found much gold on the southern side of a hill or mountain. And I can show on I can insert a quick picture of this area of where I am, and it's on the south side of the hill. So it's less likely to have gold. Actually, the north side's the best. If you think of it, like imagine my hand being a bulldozer blade as it's pushing stuff, and say this rock's a hill, it's going to want to lift up. When the blade lifts up, it drops out sediment. So the north side of a mountain is more likely to have the most amount of gold. So a lot of times when I'm looking on a map, I do a satellite image to make sure there's no houses so I can actually get to the rivers. And then I'll turn on the terrain feature to show that the hills and mountains to see where they are. And if it's on the south side, I usually avoid it. If it's in a valley between two mountains, primo. North, east, or west side of a mountain, again, perfect for prospecting. But just figured I'd show you a little, explain why I'm here. Like I said, this is more of the southern area of the state. I'm hoping there's some gold down around here, but it's just less likely. Because that same theory with the glaciers, north of me, probably about a half hour or so, is where we have the White Mountains, which is part of the Appalachian Mountains. And that acted like a wall for the glaciers. So a lot of the gold and stuff got trapped in those mountains or above them. And very little made it through. So that's why there's a lot less gold in the southern part below those mountains in New Hampshire. But just a little geology lesson of the day. But I believe there's a trail, and I'm going to try to go up and do some test pans up top there. If there's nothing there, there's a road that continues further around to that would be to the west side of the mountain, where this river continues. If it's not posted, I'm going to try to do a few samples there and just confirm that this river either has gold or it doesn't have gold, so I can mark it off the list. But let me get to it. Okay, I just dug right where the shovel is. I just filled the pan up. Let's see what's in it. The material looks really sandy, so I'm not feeling too confident, but we won't know until we try. It's a no-go. As I get down below the sand, or as the sand worked its way out, the material actually looks really good. A lot of iron, black sand or whatever, and garnet. And I thought I almost had a piece of silver in there. I thought it was mica, but it stayed on the bottom. I'll have to keep an eye out for more of that. But I'm going to try a few different spots before I decide to move up. Like I said, if I can, I'm going to try to go further up. But just to let you know, I'm on top of the falls. The falls are right down there. Pretty cool though. I mean, this area gets some major flooding, so it'd easily be over my head during the flood season. So kind of hard to pick where the gold is going to settle out. I chose here because of this wall. So if the water's hitting this, it's going to create a back pressure, which is going to cause stuff to drop out. At least that was my theory. And it kind of was true because of all the black sand I was finding. But let me try a few more spots, and then I'll turn you back on and give my conclusion. Just as I suspected, the Smith River Profile Falls is not looking promising. Still a great area if you're in there. If you're in their vicinity and want to see a waterfall or go swimming, or as you can see, they even got places to picnic. This is closed at night, but during the day you can come here. There's multiple. There's another one over there on the other side. It's like a little park community. Nice spot, but unfortunately no gold, which I'm not surprised, but I think it's time to move to the next river. And that one's actually what I'm going north for. This should be interesting. So let's get there. Geez, so I was just about to leave Profile Falls, and I noticed across the parking lot there was another dirt parking lot, but with a gate and a road that goes out to a massive field. You got outhouses, but a lot of spots. Now this is the Pemigewasset River. This is known for having gold further up around Lincoln and above, but I didn't think the gold was down here. I get a pan down here, I'll show you quick, but super small. The pieces aren't going to show up there, but it is showing gold. The problem is this is a huge area to try to pick the best spot. You might have to go down super deep, or just get randomly lucky. The water's low, so you get a lot of access right now, but this is actually a canoe launch, which would be kind of fun. To show you the material, tons of black sand and garnet. I mean, look at that piece. That's a nice little piece of garnet, but very, very microscopic gold in there. And I just randomly tested some spots. I was actually right on that corner right there. I did a few here, didn't get anything, and when I got to the corner I started seeing the micro spots. So just tuned in to let you know there's potential. The Pemigewasset near Bristol, New Hampshire, is showing potential. Again, I mean, a lot of area to pick from. I wouldn't even know where to begin to pick a good spot, and hopefully you find the best. Maybe out towards that island, who knows. But just tuned in to let you know that one. But I'm off to the next spot. And I'm almost at the next spot. This is a conservation area near, actually in Rumney. Unfortunately, it's like a quarter-mile walk out to the spot, but I have a little gadget that's going to make it easier. I'm going to the Baker River. There is gold in there. Multiple people have told me they found gold, but I have not, so I am going to give it a try. But the reason I picked this area, or I should say, they found gold further north. I am a little more south, and down here the water's slower and a lot more sand. But that's actually why I'm here. I'm kind of going to try something a little different. But I'll show you a few things. I just picked this up. I had a coupon for the hardware store, 125 bucks. It holds 600 pounds. I actually needed a wheelbarrow anyway, so it's great. It's even got a dump feature, so you can dump the material. So I should be able to carry all my gear out there. And if I actually wanted to, once the gear is out, I can use this to cart around material. I'm probably only going to be able to use this in probably like 40% of the places I go. A lot of them do have bike or walk paths where that thing's going to come awesome. It'll work out great. Another thing is, if you notice the wheels, they're just quick clip-ons. So what I was thinking, I was actually going to build a set of skis to go onto this after, so I can actually, or for winter use, so I can actually use this out in the winter time. But just something I needed, and I'm like, oh, this will work. And my long-term goal is I want to build a mini 12-volt wash plant, and that is a great platform to build off of. Plenty of room to put stuff in. I'll easily build something up off of that, either right to the frame or into the bucket, and I'll be able to drag it out to my areas with batteries and just process material. But another thing I'm going to pick up since they're going to be out in the sun burning my ass off. I mentioned this in the last video. These beach umbrellas I thought was a great idea. I get this at Lowe's on clearance for 25 bucks. I mean, how do you beat that? It's a 7-foot umbrella that should work out. I'll find out in a second, but it'll keep me shaded out, and because where I'm going is wide in the open, but it's going to be super dry sand, and that's what I want. And the reason is, I made videos in the past. When I designed this Goldbox, I made a second tray. The second tray is just for sand. It's designed to create more back pressure and have the sand drop out. One cool thing I found, originally I ran this very slow and fed it very slow, had the water pressure down and everything, thinking that was better. And I only captured 90% of the gold, which is horrible because this thing is up around 98 to 100%. So out of frustration, I just cranked up the pressure and just dumped all the material into the hopper, what I had left, so it was actually overfilling. And that, by doing that, actually created so much back pressure, I gained 100% capture rate. So this thing is an animal when it comes to sand. So once I get the sand tray in there, I want to check this river for gold first. With this is just a generalized tray, so I'll do some buckets with that. But then I'm going to go to the sand, and what I did is I picked up this funnel. This was like $5 at Walmart. I put a screen in there, and there is a nozzle on here. If the sand is dry, it should just flow down with no issues. That wedges right in there. Yeah, if the sand's dry, it'll flow down with no issues. But if for whatever reason I start getting some wet sand and it clumps, I can take the hose that normally goes into this spray bar and move it up to here and help wash it down. But with this attachment, I should be able to just literally just scoop, shovelfuls right into that without even hesitating, and just completely fill it and just bog this thing right down. Which, as I said, it works better. So instead of being out in the boulder fields and the streams, having to move 100-pound rocks, can I find a bunch of gold faster just going in the sand and getting a lot of more flour gold? It's just something different I wanted to try. I wanted to check this river anyways for just standard gold, but I think it's going to have a lot of flour gold, and that's why I'm bringing all this extra stuff. So let me get set up. I gotta load this thing up. Like I said, I think it's a quarter-mile walk out. It's a nice little conservation area. A big flower field, and then the trail they mow to the river, and then it turns into a woodland trail that goes out to the river on the beach part. But I'll finish packing up, and then once I get everything set up, I'll turn you back on. I mean, the cool thing is, because I can bring so much stuff, I'm bringing extra batteries, I get an extra bilge pump, chairs. I'm bringing everything except for the kitchen sink. I might as well take advantage of this. And I've learned over the years, the more comfortable you are, the longer you'll stay in an area, and the more productive you'll be. So now that I can bring more stuff out, I'm gonna be comfortable. So I'll turn you back on in a second. Got it filled to the brim. Thing's actually got some weight to it, but this trail's getting a little tight. But just through there on the other side, I think I'm good. Grab this. I'll show you. Some funky vegetation. Ah, nice. A little longer walk than I thought. But just to show you quick, I'm not sure where I'm going to set up, but tons of beach sand like I was talking. This is a huge inside bend. Got nice flowing water, but it's a lot slower. And it doesn't really look like this crazy. I'm sure this thing floods, but not like full force flooding where it's moving big boulders. I don't even see any big boulders, honestly. Got some trees down over there, but let me assess where I want to dig. I guess any place is good as any, because I'm not really unfortunately there's no big features to show me like, oh, maybe that's the spot. But I'm assuming during the flood the water is going to try to go straight here, even while some of it's still turning here. So even on this inside may create some turbulence to drop it out. But let me set up. I can search this quicker without holding the camera, and then I'll show you my setup. But so far that cart's a win. I'm liking that. That umbrella has officially ruined me. I will never go anywhere without it. I almost just fell asleep there underneath that, just relaxing, looking at the scenery. But I'm ready to run some material. Just to let you know, it's 95 degrees out, super hot. I wouldn't last more than an hour out in this sun without, just almost wanting to collapse. But I'm gonna run some, I was gonna pan, but I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna run a bucket out in the center. I just want to see what the material looks like, see if there's any gold. So let's fast forward this. Maybe I can cue up some music, and then I'll show you the results. Gold. It's small, so let's see if I can zoom in on it. I don't know if that's going to show up. Give me a second. The camera's almost falling over. You see it? Try to see this. The sun's bright, but there's some small pieces. Let me see if I'll get another better shot at it, but yeah, there's gold. I actually went down pretty deep, over a foot. So, which like I said, I already knew there was gold in here. I'm actually surprised to see this much, even though it's small, but this much this far south. So at least I know there's gold up there. Like I said, I'll show you this. I'll get it cleaned up better. But then I want to try setting up for the sand. I don't want to make this an hour-long video. I just wanted to prove there's gold here, which is awesome because this is like one of the most comfortable setups I've ever had to date. So I'm enjoying this. But give me a second and I'll show you the results. I'm having a hard time capturing on film, but yeah, there's two right here. There's probably like five colors in here. Because it's small, it's kind of hard to separate out from the other material. But it's actually not that bad. I only ran that bucket maybe 2 gallons in there. So that's actually pretty decent. And that was super easy digging. That only took like 5 minutes to get down and deep enough. So I am gonna, what I'm gonna do, since this thing's available, I'm just gonna randomly get about a bucket or two's worth of sand. And then I'll set the Goldbox up to just see if I can just feed it right in, and I'll show that on, I'll turn the camera back on to show you guys. Well, like I said, it's already a win. I did find gold. I don't want to make this video super long, but at least want to show the sand, and then I want to see, is it worth running sand, or is it worth coming back out here and running more coarser material? That's the $1 million question that I'm going to answer in about 2 seconds. Okay, I was able to scrape up some sand. I got a bucket's worth. I don't know if this is going to clog. That tray is designed to run 1/4 inch or smaller, and I forgot the 1/4 inch classifier, so I had to use the 3/8. I was basically just scooping all around through here and trying to get as much sand or dry sand as I can. So hopefully it doesn't clog, and I'm just going to try to run that whole bucket and see what's in it. I'm really curious on this one. So let's fast forward this process. Hopefully it's nice and quick. As you see, that didn't work as good as I wanted. As soon as that any of that sand got wet, it turned instantly into a concrete, clogged up the whole tube. I could keep it dry. Wind's starting to pick up. Hopefully you don't fall over. Wow. Let me pan this a little better, but it looks like there's more gold. I was not expecting that. All right, let me get back to it, and let me clean this up better, and then I'll show you. Yeah, that didn't work like I wanted to, but there's probably 20 colors in here. You see it all? I don't know if the camera's gonna pick all of it up. I mean, they're small, but there's like 20 colors. Was not expecting that result. I just gotta find a way to process the material dry. It would actually work if the whole system was completely dry, but as soon as any water gets into it, it just turns to a sticky paste and was sticking in the tubes. But yeah, I just randomly took some shovelfuls up on the bank here and one over there. So, and that was only 3 gallons of material. If I can get it to run faster, because the box will run it faster if it can get down the tube. Man, that's way more productive. I could get like quite a bit of gold. I mean, it'd be small flour gold, but it's definitely got some potential now. Now it's got me curious. All right, yeah, right there. I mean, there might even be like 30 colors in there. Wow, was not expecting that result. But I think I'm gonna conclude it right there. Actually, a pretty interesting spot. I like my little setup. I am loving that umbrella, the cart, everything. This was fun. I wasn't actually expecting to find this much gold. I got a few more hours here, so I'm gonna probably try to process a little more material. If I find something real special, I'll turn you back on, but this might have to be a come back to our part 2 or whatever. There's definitely some potential here. And the great thing is it's maybe just over an hour from my house, so it's not quite as far as the other spots I usually go to. And it may just be, I might find a little hot spot in here and get some really decent gold. But yeah, running all day, it'd be flour gold, but I could get quite a bit. So get out and have fun. If you're in the heat, make sure you pick up an umbrella. A nice cart to carry everything. But until the next time, this was fun. I'll see you then. I had to jump back in to show you this. I just ran 2 more buckets up in here. I was able to go back to the truck and get my 1/4 inch classifier, which is underneath the pan right now. Literally 5 minutes to fill 2 buckets. It's super easy when it's dry. Instead of trying to feed it dry, I poured water into the buckets and mixed it up so it was wet, and I was able just to feed the Goldbox regularly, still using the sand tray. But I was able to put a big scoop in every 3 seconds, so it took me like 10 minutes to go through those buckets. Hopefully this shows up. You seeing all that? Isn't that nuts? I mean, it's small, but there's probably like 100 colors in there. That's including the bucket I ran before and the one out further out in the stream. So this is the day's total. But that is just crazy. Jeez, I've always been going after the big stuff. Maybe New Hampshire flour gold is the next big thing. It's so easy to run, and I mean, look at all. I have all this just full of flour gold. I haven't even tried testing down here or anywhere else. There's just gold all around here. Screw the big pieces. Let's go for the small stuff. But I think there's definitely going to be a part 2. Let me know if you want to see more of this, or you just rather see me go for the bigger gold. But that's actually really exciting. I mean, it takes very little effort. If I was out here all day running that, as much material as I could, I could get a lot of gold. It'll eventually add up. But I'm done for the day, packing up, and then I'll see you on the next adventure. Get out there and Try to find some flower gold. See ya.